Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Sima Gold. So today we are making a ruffled top. So if this is what you're looking out for, so stay back and enjoy yourself and learn how it was cut and sewn. So please kindly subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment, ask questions, stay tuned.
So today the style we are making is the blouse that has ruffle. We can see the ruffle very well there. Now the base for the blouse is actually an off shoulder with a sleeve. So we are going to start now. I have my shoulder to waist, which is 18 and a half. So I'm going to be, and the shoulder to waist for the back is 17 and a half. So having marked this, the next thing we'll do is to go straight to drafting the off shoulder blouse first. Now for the off shoulder blouse, the shoulder measurement is 16. 16 divided by 2 give me 8. I'll mark 8 for front and I'll mark 8 inches for the back. After marking the shoulder measurement, I'm going to come down by 1 for my shoulder slope. And then for the armhole measurement, I'm going to do my bust, which is 42 divided by 6 plus 1.5, which should give me 8.5. And I'm going to mark the 8.5 here. I'll go to the back and I'll mark the same 8.5 here. And after doing that, I'll come towards this side. I will mark the 8 inches. I'll come towards this side. I will mark 8 inches. Now the next thing I'll do is to mark my shoulder to bust point, which is 10.5, shoulder to under bust, which is 14.5, and then I'll connect. Our bust point to bust point is 4.5, so I'll mark 4.5 here, and I'll give my half inch on both sides and then connect. Having done this, I'll get my bust measurement and my waist measurement. The bust is 42 divided by 4 gives me 10.5, so I'm inserting 10.5 here. The waist is 34. 34 divided by 4 gives me 8.5. I'll insert 8.5 here. After adding the 8.5 here, I will take this dash measurement and I will put, which is 1 inch that I took half inch here, half inch here. I'm going to be replacing it by this side, and then I would connect. After connecting, I'll come to the middle of this armhole, which is 4.2, and I'll go in by half. Then I'll get my neck measurement, which is 3 by 3 for a basic neck. And then I'll connect it to my shoulder slope. The next thing I'll look out for is my bust tightening. The bust tightening is the difference between the shoulder to waist front and shoulder to waist back. Shoulder to waist front is 18 and a half. Shoulder to waist back is 17 and a half. 18 and a half minus 17 and a half will give me 1 inch. So I'll come to this line, which is this bust point line that I got by measuring my shoulder to nipple. I'll come to the side front and I'll mark that 1 inch there. Then I'm going to connect it. With this, we can say that the front bodice is ready. We'll go to the back. Now for the back, I would come in, the waist divided by 4 gives me 8.5, so I'll mark my 8.5. The bust point to bust point is 4.5. I'll add half of an inch to the 4.5. That makes it 5. Then I'll come by this side. I'll mark my half inch. Mark my half inch here. Then I'll connect, and I'll mark my back tightening, which I'll go in by 1 inch. I'll mark my bust measurement, which is 42 divided by 4 gives me 10.5. Then I'll do my basic neck, which is 3 inches width and 1 inches depth. Then from this neck, I'll connect it to this part. After connecting it, I'll connect my neck to my shoulder slope. The next thing I'll do, I'll take my back tightening, which is 1 inch, and then my darts, which is 1 inch, and I'll replace them here by the side, because when I cut, they're all going to go out. So that makes the total of 2 inches, and I'll connect. Then I'll take this off. I'll get the middle part of this, which is 4 of the armhole, which is 4.2, go inward by 0.25 and connect. After doing all of this, we'll now convert this to the off shoulder. Now, off shoulder simply means we are offing the shoulder part of the outfit. So I'll be offing about 5 inches. And I'll do the same thing for the back. From the beginning, I'll off my 5 inches, my 5 inches, and my 5 inches. So having off these 5 inches and these 5 inches, the next thing I'll do for my front is to come down by 1 inch, which is here, and then I'll connect it to this dart. Then I'll come down by 1.5. I'll still connect it to this dart. After doing this, I'll come to the under bust. I'll go in by 1 by this side, and I'll go in by 1.5 by this side. So I'll connect it like this, straight down. I'll curve this straight down. A total of 2 inches has also been eliminated from this waist, because all of this is going to go out. So I'll just add back my 2 inches at the waist part. So now this does not count anymore. After that, I'm going to be extending this line, this particular dart leg, up by 1.5 inch. Remember, we are going to see cutting off this 1.5 inch, because we came down by 1.5 inch before we got this. And then I'll connect. After connecting, I would cut the front part first. Then I'll cut off this shoulder now. That's what off shoulder simply means. I'll keep the back aside first. Now I'll fold this part. And when I fold it, I'll just mask it. Then I'll place it bust point to bust point. You see that it complements very well. So all I need to do at this upper part, trust me, if you use this method, it works very well. At this upper part, this shoulder part, this upper part now, just go inward by 1.5. Once you are making an off shoulder, if you use this method, it works. When you go inward by 1.5, notice that I've already placed this together like this, as if it's sewn. This is the bust point to bust point. Then you see that it got to the armhole. Then on this upper part, go inward by 1.5 and just connect it like this. Connect it like this in a diagonal form, not so curvy. Then you can decide the neck you want. For this picture, we know that we have a sweetheart neck, so I will be coming inward by say 2.5 inches. By 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to curve it. Having gotten this, the next thing I'll do is to cut. So we can say that the front is ready and it's just transferred to fabric. Now for the back. For the back, the only thing I need to do is to come down by 1 inch and connect it. Then blend it into my armhole. Then the next thing I'll do is to do that 1.5 inch that I eliminated from the front part to here, and then blend it into the armhole. Trust me, this works very well. Now the front and the back, they are both ready. If we look at the picture, we will see that it has a band at the waist part. So all I will need to do from the under bust line, I will just come down by say 0.7 from the under bust line. I'll do the same thing here, come down by 0.7, and then I'll cut out. So this will serve as that band. So this is the band for the front. So after this, the next thing I will just do is to label my band. This is center front, this is side front, this is the under bust side, and this is the waist. You could choose to do the same thing for the back too. So all I need to do is to come to this back. I'll match the back parts together. This is the best way for you to get out exactly your band. And then I just place the front. You could choose to measure, but I think this is faster for me. And just cut two. So you do the same thing. This is your side back. This is your waist. This is your center back. So like this, the outfit is ready. So like this, our pattern is ready. So the next thing we have to do is to transfer our patterns to fabric. So I'll take the front, I'll place it. I'll take the side front and I'll place it. I'll cut. So the center front is ready. I'm trying to see the way my fabric is going to work for me here. So I'll take my side back and I will add 2.5 inches sewing allowance, and I'll cut. Then after that, I would cut the side front. I would add 2.5 inches sewing allowance that I added for the side back too, and then I'll blend it. You can choose to give sewing allowances to round the edges. So our side front is ready. Then remaining the center back. For the center back, I think I should give it a little bit of curve shape at the back too, but not sweetheart this time around. So I've done that. So I'll just add a zipper allowance of say 1 inches. Okay, it's up to 1.5 inches. So I will add a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So our back and front is ready. I'll lay it aside and we'll talk about cutting the bands. In cutting the front, I have this folded into two, the front band. Then I folded into another two because I want the front part to just be because I want the band part to just be the main fabric, not lining or anything. So I'll place it. This is the center front and this is the waist part. So I'll place it this way. I'll come to this side. I'll mark 2.5 inch, which is the sewing allowance that we added. Then I'll mark ½ inch for joining. here. I'll come to the waist part here. I'll add half inch for joining. So after that, this is it. You can label so that you don't make a mistake. This is the under bust. I wrote you on it. This is the waist parts. I wrote W on it. Then you lay it aside. Then when we come to the back, this is the waist part. What the difference between this and the other front is that on this back, at this band part, we are going to be adding our zipper allowance and our sewing allowance too. So our sewing allowance is 2.5 inches. It's 2.5 inches. So I'm marking my 2.5 inches now for the sewing allowance. Then the zipper allowance is 1.5 inches. Then you add your half inches for joining. You add your half inch at the lower part for joining. Then the zipper part, you open it up, and then your sewing allowance part. Now what you do is take note of your zipper part, because you don't want to mix it up with your sewing allowance part. Then you can take note of your waist part. So having done this, we can say that the off shoulder part is ready. So the next thing I will do, I'm going to put my ST on this. I'm cutting my lining exactly like this, Then I will pad it and sew. After sewing this, I'll bring it for us to see before I fit, and then we'll fix the sleeve and now talk about the ruffle design. So I've added the band, done the back, the bustier, and this is the back. So the only thing left for me is to fix the band, the sleeve now. So I'll just fold my fabric into two. From here, this is the upper part. Let's say my band is about it's not like a sleeve per se, it's like a band sleeve. So let's say my band is about 3 inches. Then I add 1 inch to it to make it 4. And I'll cut. At the upper part, I would mark 5 inches. And then I'll slant it. So this way, I would turn it with lining. After turning it with lining, I'll sew it to this part by half of an inch, front and back. Then we'll talk about how to make the ruffle design. Okay, so I've done one part of this. This is how it looks. And I'm going to be placing it like this when the person wears it, and then tack it on the person. But I'm going to show us how to do it. Now I have my satin that is going to serve as my base for it. And this satin, I measured it from the center front to the center back of the person. I have a total of 32 inches by by 14.5 inches. Let's just say 14 inches. Then I'm using a Mikado fabric, and the Mikado fabric I'm having here is 12 inches by 82 inches. So I have my bobbin net. I have my bobbin net here. This will be inside this satin as the base, and the bobbin net will be the same length with the satin, and the wideness, which is the wideness I want to use for this, which is the base of this, is 6.5 inches. So what I will do is to fold this into two, and then place this. I would go to my sewing machine, I would sew it and sew it straight, then I'll come to the table. So this is the bobbin net. I've sewn it on top of the satin. So the next thing I will do is to turn it inside out. So having turned it inside out, I'm going to top stitch this side and this other side straight down. I'm going to tuck this part in and then iron it, then bring it back to the table. So I've top stitched and iron flat. So I'll lay this aside first. Now my Mikado fabric, the two parts here, I'm going to hem them. I can weave and then hem it. Then we'll now go to the next step. So having hemmed the two sides, now I have just here left and this other part left, and I have my base. The first thing I will do is to take one part, divide it into two equal parts. Then I'll take this part, divide it into two equal parts, and then I would pin it. Then I'll sew. So having done this, you turn it out. Then I'll come to the ending of this part. Remember that the length of this is actually, the length of this base is actually 30 inches. I would make sure that my needle and thread that I fix is up to that 30 inches. Then I will tie. You can leave some space after the 30 inches so that when you tie it can be firm. So what I will do now is to get the middle of this part. You can use your chalk to mark it straight down, but I will just use my eye. Now this is the middle of it. I'm going to start pleating with my needle and thread, or you can do a straight stitch if you know how to do that on it. So I'll pleat it till I get to this other end, just like this. The goal is for everything to be pleated into the size of this thread, which is 30 inches, so that it will be equivalent to the measurement of the base that we worked on earlier on. So I'm done pleating it. This is the outcome. You can see the thread. I pleated it to the ending part, making sure that it's the same length with the base. After doing this, I will target the middle part of this ruffle and the middle part of the base. I would now tuck in this part and top stitch this middle part that was pleated. So this is my way of making it stay firmly on the base itself. If you have a reason to adjust while sewing it, feel free to do that. So having done this, this is what we have. This is a style too, but this is not what we are looking out for. So at this end, this part, I'm going to top stitch this. But while top stitching, make sure that the ending of this is here. These 2 points are meeting. You can pleat the other ones that will follow it. And you repeat the same thing at the other part of it. So this place has been secured. This place has been secured. So the only thing we have left now is this other part. So what do I do? It's simple. Start pleating. I'll take this mount. I'll just fold it in and top stitch. And I'll continue doing that till I get to the end of the other part. You can see it's forming already. So you can see that this part has been formed already. I'll go ahead to do the other part like that too. The same way I started with that one, the first part I did. Now I am done, and this is what it looks like. Now if you want it fuller, the more fuller you want it, you make sure that your mikado is more. So the more fuller your fabric, like I have about I think I used 12 inches wideness. You could use 20 inches, you could use 25 inches. That gives you more room to have a fuller ruffle than this. But so far, with the quantity of fabric I have available, this is the ruffle I can get. So with this base that I have, the only thing I would do, but I will do that on the person, is to take this here and fix, and then take this other one and fix, and then we'll have our ruffle, our blouse ready.